All right, so we live. What's up? All right, la la la. I ain't done this in a while. Let's go. All right, so what's good, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. If you're new here, I'll introduce myself. My name's Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, out here in Budapest, Hungary, recording this live stream with y'all right now. Today is the last day of November. It's the 30th of November, 2023. It's been a long ass month. A lot has happened and transpired in this month. This has been one of the most interesting months of my YouTube channel. We made the most money on this channel, but we also had the lowest subscriber count that we had in a while. We also had some pretty big videos that blew up on this channel, but we also had some of the lowest views at the same time, which is very strange and odd. When I look at other people's analytics and when I look at other people's pages, I see that a lot of other people have very small amounts of views on a lot of their videos. But then when you click on the about page on who has like a million views or the total aggregate number of views the channel has gotten, those videos, those channels have sometimes like maybe 10,000 or 20,000 more views than mine does. But meanwhile, I'm sitting at like 270,000. I hope to hit a million next year. Hopefully, we can do that. And I would love to have this channel finally at 10,000 subs by next year, too. But either way, we're just doing this channel for shits and giggles and fun, in between English classes, just to rant and rave about different topics. So I want to say shout out to everybody who's been subscribing. I did my last live stream on Sunday. And on Sunday, I said I wasn't going to do another live stream until I hit like 2,275 subs. But since that Sunday, we've had about 30 subs. 30 subs since Sunday, which has been amazing. That's an incredible amount of growth. And I didn't upload, I didn't go live or anything like that. So shout out to everybody who decided to, tune into the last live stream that went big, which was the Mayweather one. And y'all just went crazy, subbing, liking, sharing. I don't know why that video blew up, but shout out to everybody who wanted to support that. So thank you for that. And the algorithm is crazy. You can't predict what the algorithm will push, what people will attract to. You just sort of have to put it out there and see what blows up. So I won't be doing another live or anything like that until this sub hits at least, well, until this stream gets at least 1,000 views, or the channel gets 2,310 subs. Because what we're doing now, if you want to see me, you got to show up. You get what I'm saying? Like, we have to get subs in, we have to get views in, we have to get likes, that sort of thing. So yeah, we're going to be talking about a topic today that I really, really wanted to cover. I really wanted to cover this story for a long time, and it's an older story. This isn't something recent. We could chop it up about Henry Kissinger's bitch ass finally going into the grave. We could talk about Elon Musk saying F you to advertisers. We could talk about the Republicans trying to make reparations illegal for descendants of slaves in Florida. We could talk about a lot of things, and a lot of those things are on my mind. But if you want to see me cover those topics or talk about those topics, what do you have to do? You have to watch these videos, you have to share them, you have to get those subs up. We want this channel to grow. You feel me? So, this topic, though, is about hip hop. If you know me, you know I love hip hop. I'm also a writer for another YouTube channel called Culturalist Theory. I wrote about 6 episodes of their content where they rank rappers catalogs and R&B artist catalogs from best to worst. I got a lot of new exciting stuff coming with them in the future, so definitely sub them, shout out to them, and watch all the videos. I did the ones for Mystical, Big Crit, I did the one for Khalees, I did the one for oh, I forgot. I did somebody recently. I forgot. It's all on my playlist. If you go on my YouTube channel, go to the playlist that says things I wrote for other people, and you'll find all the videos there. But we're going to be talking about today the idea of hip hop being conservative. If it's possible for rappers to be sending conservative messages in their music. The thing about music is that it's an art form, and all art forms can be interpretive. Of course, I can listen to Tupac and get another thing from it. I can listen to Jay-Z and get motivation and inspiration to become an entrepreneur. You can listen to Jay-Z and get, the idea that you need to cook rock and sling it on the block. But Hove did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. But music is interpretive. And I think what a lot of these people who listen to hip hop, because it's the biggest art form on the planet, and it's the most influential art form on the planet, and it's the most unique art form on the planet, is that a lot of people want to try to lay claim to hip hop's glory, even if they are fundamentally juxtaposed in opposition to everything that we know rappers stand for. Do you get what I'm saying? So this article here is from a think tank, a right-wing DC think tank called the American Enterprise Institute, and they wrote this article that came out a few years ago, back in 2013, well over 10 years ago. But I think it's still interesting and pertinent. The 21 greatest conservative rap songs of all time in one post, written by Stan Vogler for AE Ideas. Now, before we get into that, let's look in who Stan Vogler is, because we have to see if his hip hop credentials are certified, if his bona fides are there, if he's actually qualified to actually talk about, I'm highly disappointed already. Stan Vogler does not look like the type of guy to jam Tupac and actually get the meanings. He probably is the type of guy that keeps Rap Genius in business. This is the type of man right here that that could not listen to an uncensored CD. I'm sure all of his Eminem CDs have the parental advisory sticker taken off of them. He's got to get the clean version. His favorite rapper is Chamillionaire because Chamillionaire stopped cursing. He liked the Little Wayne before the Carter. Man, why do they get these people to do this and embarrass themselves? This man has too much mayonnaise to be coming over here talking about hip hop. Now somebody's gonna say, Simon, you're so racist. Simon, you just see a white man and think he can't know hip hop. No, 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 no. No, not at all. Some of the people on this very platform, YouTube, who are white and talk about hip hop, I highly respect, such as the Needle Drop, Anthony Fantano, such as another guy. There's another guy who does hip hop reviews. He's a white guy. I think his name is Hip Hop Historian or something like that. I respect them because they come in and actually appreciate the art form. But as soon as we read this article and as soon as you hear his arguments as to why rappers are actually giving conservative messages in their music, you'll see why I roasted his mayonnaise ass. This potato salad man, this Yakubian cave dweller coming over here trying to tell us that Tupac was secretly MAGA. Come on now. Come on now. Anyway, Stan Vogler, public finance, political economy, European Union, criminal justice reform, DC metropolitan area, immigration policy. These are his research areas. He's a doctor. Those are his information right there, but you can find it all online. So Stan Vogler is a senior fellow in economic policy studies at the American Enterprise Institute, or AEI. He's also the editor of the AEI Economic Perspectives and a fellow at the IE School of Politics, Economics, and Global Affairs. He was a visiting lecturer of economics at Harvard University in the fall of 2021 and a Campbell visiting fellow at the Hoover Institution in May 2022. So he might be a smart guy. He might be a smart guy. I think he's a doctor. He earned his doctorate, and congratulations to him. Anybody who earns their doctorate or achieves great things in American capitalism, despite their race, it's a miracle because capitalism eats its own. But I'll just say that somebody this educated and this smart and who read so many more books than I have would not write something this dumb. This is going to be one of the worst things that we'll ever read on this channel. This is going to be nothing but jokes. This is going to be nothing but jokes. Listen, man. Listen, man. If you don't know nothing about hip hop, just say that. Just say you don't know anything about hip hop. You can't just listen to a few Spotify rap playlists and think that you can come talk about hip hop. So let's get into this right now. The 21 greatest conservative rap songs of all time in one post. See, I was triggered by this already because this is assuming that the rappers share conservative viewpoints. But if you know even a cursory, brief overview of hip hop history, you know that hip hop has always been anti-authoritarian. The only thing maybe that hip hop overlaps with the far right or the right wing is freedom of speech, because rappers were fighting for freedom of speech. Many of the first rappers like Two Live Crew, NWA, many of those guys, Ice Cube and them, they were fighting, literally going to court to make sure that their lyrics and their songs wouldn't get banned and that they would be allowed to perform and make money for their families. But what's forgotten in that past is that the people that tried to persecute them were right-wing Republicans and Democrats at the time, because the white establishment in the early 90s, late 80s was very scared of hip hop. if we go back in time and look at the news footage on how they were reporting on rappers back then, they were seen as menaces to society. These super predators come to life in the living room, played on the speakers of white suburban kids, and that terrified middle America. But let's jump into our story here. So, a few months ago, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, a Republican, discussed his love for rap music extensively in an interview with GQ magazine. Eyebrows were raised. The genre is not typically seen as one that appeals to conservatives, in particular, social conservatives. Conservative columnist Mark Stein put it as follows in a recent podcast: I think there's an absence of human feeling in these songs. It's not just that they're explicit. When you talk to social conservatives, they get upset because there's all these bad words in there. It's beyond that, actually. The thing about social conservatives, the social conservatives were the ones in the past, about 30, 40 years ago, saying that rappers were using too many explicit lyrics. They were calling women B's and H's. They were talking about guns and killing people and selling drugs. And the social conservatives, the Republicans and Democrats back in the day and still somewhat now, say that, oh, rap is promoting and glorifying gang violence and negative things that we don't want in society. So rather than addressing the things that the rappers talk about in society, let's try to ban their records. Let's try to ban their shows and that sort of thing. And this was Republicans and Democrats. And this is the crazy thing. When they lose the culture war, the thing is, when the right loses the culture war, they have to co opt the thing that became popular in the culture war. This is why you don't see the Republicans and right wing conservatives talking about gay marriage so much, uh, or access to contraceptives and all these sorts of things, or rap lyrics or violence in video games anymore, because those things were lost in the culture war because people finally realized that what was being fed to them on Fox News and conservative media was all a bunch of BS. Playing Grand Theft Auto isn't going to make you kill your grandmother, and having access to condoms is not so bad. Anyway, I'm going to continue. Many rappers at the same time openly express their support for liberal politicians and policies, from Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce raising money, sorry, from Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce raising money for President Obama, to Young Jeezy singing his praise in My President is Black. My president is black, my land blows blue, and I'll be goddamn if my rims ain't too. My president is black, yo, Obama for real. They gotta put your face on the $5,000 bill. I shout out to Jeezy, man. I actually never liked My President is Black. I didn't think that was actually one of the good songs on The Recession. The Recession got a lot of bangers, man. Welcome Back, Amazing. Uh, what's it called? Oh man, Bird Play, no, Wordplay. Man, Jeezy got a lot of heat on The Recession. Great album, excellent album. I think that's his best album, low key. So I'm going to continue here. All right. Yet at the same time, and discussions about discursive practices aside, there is a strong undercurrent of deeply conservative thought expressed in songs by a wide range of some of the most famous rap artists of all. And it is not just the kind of classic liberal concerns over government overreach in specific policy areas, narcotics, law enforcement, that one would expect based on the attention rap music has received in the public debate, though there is quite a bit of that, as I will show by analyzing the 21 greatest conservative rap songs. By the way, guys, as we read this article, you'll notice that a lot of the songs here are not even true rap songs. Right? This guy picked his playlist from going out and doing bumps with his friends on, Fort Lauderdale Beach on the weekend. That's the type of rap songs that we're going to see here, a good portion of them. But I want to talk about this. He's going to say that, government overreach in the field of narcotics and law enforcement. So basically saying that the government was too involved in our communities, the black community, when it came to over policing. They sent too many police out there to brutalize us, beat us, kill us, and that sort of thing. And this has been a complaint in hip hop and in the black community and in black thought for a long time. But Malcolm X talked about that. Martin Luther King talked about that. W.E.B. Du Bois talked about that. James Baldwin talked about that. And these guys were not conservatives. They are not conservatives because, listen, the answer that a lot of conservatives give for these things about government overreach, about law enforcement or the drug trade and that sort of thing, is to send more police. We've never heard Republicans say, maybe we need to end the war on drugs. We've never heard conservatives say, well, maybe we have too many people in prison. We've never heard them say that. That's never been the argument, because every rapper that's ever talked about the street life and lyric out of their mouth wasn't I wish there were more cops on the block. Nobody said that. Nobody ever said that. So I don't get how these conservatives continue to try to co-opt things that do not belong to them. You are the antithesis. You are the antithesis of hip hop. You, Stan, and all people of your ilk are the antithesis of everything every rapper ever said. You're a bitch and you're a cuck, Stan. Stan, you're a dumbass trying to write this, and I'm already pissed reading this, but it's about to get even worse. So, what we see. As I will show by analyzing the 21 greatest conservative rap songs selected based on a mix of ideological purity, primarily, musical quality, and popular appeal, all three legs of President Reagan's three-legged stool are represented. Reagan was against hip hop. Who went to go see the president? I think it was Easy E. Easy E went to go sit down with George H.W. Bush, right? And yeah, I'm pretty sure Reagan and all of them definitely hated hip hop. They would not let any rappers up there. And this guy talking about ideological purity in hip hop, the only thing ideologically pure in hip hop is the idea that black men are chasing financial success and freedom in American capitalism by rapping about the struggles that they have been put through. That's the only through line because there's no consistent ideology within hip hop. I'll keep that absolutely real. Every rapper is literally just trying to get it out for themselves, make money to take care of themselves and feed their families. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't try to twist their words into fitting your sick ideology, where all you want to do is make those communities even more worse, more flood them with more drugs, over police them, throw more people in jail, and that sort of thing, and get rid of the social safety nets. Horrible. So I'm going to continue here. The songs I discuss express support not just for pro-family social values, but also for small government and peace through strength. That said, domestic policy receives more attention than foreign policy, a common feature of most contemporary popular music in the West. And partially for that reason, the relative size of the legs reflect the Republican Party's primary electorate better than its policy platform. Without further ado, let the ranking commence. 21 rap songs to inspire the conservative movement in the 21st century. Oh, God. I'm about to throw up. Here we go. Justin Bieber featuring Busta Rhymes, Drummer Boy. So before I started this live stream, I wanted to listen to all the songs that were here, and a good portion of them I already know because he picks the most popular rap songs of all time. But Justin Bieber, starting off talking about a list of the most conservative rap songs of all time, even if you're going to make a strong argument, you don't pull out a Justin Bieber Christmas song. Are you stupid? Stan, are you a dumbass? You have to be dumb. You have to be dumb, Stan. Stan, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're literally an idiot, bro. You pulled out a Justin Bieber Christmas song featuring Busta Rhymes and called it a hip hop song. Guys, turn off this live stream. Listen to this song. It is absolute total garbage and trash. Absolute total garbage and trash. And the only reason you can even tangentially tie this to hip hop is just tangentially tie this to conservatism is that it's a Christmas song. And we all know that conservatives love Jesus in name, not actually anything Jesus said, not practices Jesus did, but just Jesus in name. Stan, go kill yourself, Stan. Stan, jump off of the tallest building because you cannot write about hip hop. I am incensed. I am pissed. I am irate to see anybody write about this culture that I love dearly so much in such a stupid way, in such a stupid way. All right, the first song on the list ranked this low mostly because of its disregard for the second criterion mentioned earlier, music quality, is a collaborative effort by teen idol Justin Bieber and past his heyday rapper Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes has never been past his heyday. Busta Rhymes is still top-notch tier quality. I don't think Busta Rhymes is out. He's not washed up. And this was back in 2013. I think Busta didn't even drop the "Look at Me Now" verse. You get me? So yeah. Anyway, a cover of the Carol of the Drum, the classic Christmas song by Catherine Kennicott Davis. The song tells the story of a poor drummer boy who pays tribute to the baby Jesus. Come, they told me, pra rumpa pum pum, a newborn king to see, pa rumpa pum pum. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up. All right, yes, this was written back in 2013, Ozzy. Yes, it was. But it's still worth talking about because I care about hip hop deeply. I love hip hop. And I think this is a great topic to talk about to show how conservatives and people on the right love to twist things to their own narrative, especially when they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to continue. So, but this is not just an overt endorsement of the gospel. When Mr. Bieber turns to discussing the policy implications of John 3:17. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Yeah. How does God's love live in people who want to throw children in fucking cages when they cross the Mexican border? How does God's love go to people who say, we don't care if Israel carpet bombs Gaza? How does God's love reflect on people who say, you know what, we're going to bomb Afghanistan to the Stone Age, or we're going to carpet bomb Cambodia? These are all things the American government has done. And yet, and still, this same government and many people in it claim to be Christian. The hypocrisy. All right. Is it private charity, not government redistribution, that he sees as the way forward? No, he doesn't. He's just singing a song. He's just Justin Bieber. It's crazy how people say they don't care when there's people on the street with no food. It's not fair. It's about time you act merrily. It's about time you give to charity. So I think some of you need to act bold. Give a can to a drive. Let's change the globe. All right, so this is poetry from Justin Bieber, which we should all heed and listen to. Yes, Justin Bieber, the saintly kid who has never done anything wrong in his life, and he's only lived as the paragon of excellence of morality. But no, seriously, why do conservatives always think we can fix society's problems by just giving to charity? The more money we give to homeless shelters, that doesn't stop more people from becoming homeless, because the rent keeps going higher because you allow private corporations to buy up all of the apartments and create a monopoly on housing. Y'all allow that to happen, but then y'all wonder why there's so many homeless. Y'all tell people to work harder and harder every day, yet and still people can barely keep food on the table, can barely keep the rent paid, and y'all want to listen to Justin Bieber lyrics to say we can fix poverty that way. Anyway, this is what asking the rich to pay their fair share should look like. Not coercion through the tax system, but an appeal to humanity's moral core. I'm going to throw up. I'm literally going to throw up. Yes, let's just nicely ask Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos to pay their fair share in taxes. And if we cry and beg hard enough, and if we let the tears roll down our eyes, maybe the billionaires of the world won't, hoard their wealth and buy more luxury cars, yachts, mansions, and that sort of thing. Maybe they'll pay their fair share in taxes if we just ask nicely. Fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. All right, number 20, Tupac, keep your head up. See, this should be a sin. Stan, you shouldn't even say the words Tupac. If you want two cases of Coca-Cola, you can't even say you will need 2 packs of Coca-Cola. The words Tupac should not even come out of your mouth. They should not come out of your mouth, bro. Stan, don't ever try to put Tupac in some conservative list of greatest rap songs of all time. What type of dumbass are you, Stan? Tupac Shakur, or Tupac, despite question mark. What is that supposed to mean? Being the son of two Black Panthers. Is he trying to co-opt the Black Panthers too? Is he trying to say that the Black Panthers were a radical conservative militia group? What? These people are sick. These people are sick. Makes more appearances, 3 on this list, than any other artist. We're in for a long night. In this first one, he attacks contemporary feminist beliefs, decries single parent families, and calls on men, particularly those in his own African American community, to step up and take responsibility. He voices Bill Cosby when discussing the latter, while at the same time reaffirming traditional gender roles. You know what makes me unhappy? When brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a pappy, while expressing compassion for single mothers raising children by themselves. And to all the ladies having babies on their own, I know it's kind of rough and you're feeling all alone. He does not see such household structures as effective alternatives to traditional families. Time to heal our women, be real to our women. And if we don't have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies, but abortion is not acceptable, easy way out for Mr. Shakur. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? Okay, he is literally right here. He is literally right here misinterpreting Tupac's lyrics, literally misinterpreting the entire song. The song is not an admonishment or a derailment, or Tupac deriding Black men for abandoning Black women and creating single Black mothers all across the country. No, 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 nigga, no. Stan, I'm gonna call you nigga because nigga, are you crazy? Stan, are you dumb? You gotta be dumb. Literally, keep your head up is about women in general being in situations where they have to fend for themselves and fight for themselves, whether the man is there or not. And we know we're caught up in the criminal justice system because of unfair policing and drug enforcement laws that were put in the 80s. So yeah, a lot of black men were taken out of the home because of the laws that guys like Reagan and George H.W. Bush enforced that said people who deal crack will get a harsher sentence than somebody who deals cocaine. And guess who deals more crack than cocaine? Us, unfortunately. Now listen, there's a difference between critiquing issues within a community, but not, how can I say, blaming an entire community or attacking an entire community. Tupac doesn't do like conservatives do, where they attack black people and place the blame on our circumstances, on solely our choices, as if we had a choice to be in America to begin with. That is not the place where it's coming from when Tupac is rapping the lyrics. You know what makes me unhappy? When brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a pappy. He said it makes him unhappy, but he doesn't say in the song at all, that's why our communities are messed up. That's why the babies are running around shooting Uzis. That's why our women got to prostitute ourselves and stuff like that. No, no, no. And also, when he says here, and to all the ladies having babies on their own, I know it's kind of rough and you feeling all alone. Okay, Tupac's trying to holler at some single mothers. He is not trying to say, yeah, single mothers are all over the community, all over the country, and that's why it's all messed up. You would have to be reading into this much deeper to reach that conclusion. This is why certain people that look like this should not be talking about music created by people that look like this. You feel me? Because he's missing the entire point, and his whole message is to talk to an audience that literally do not listen to hip hop. They just listen to the beat. They think they can barely understand rappers' lyrics. So then he's going to come in and try to reinterpret what they're saying. Tupac was pro-abortion, literally one of the most pro-abortion lyrics in hip hop history. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. That's one of the most profound and most quoted lyrics in Tupac's catalog. Yet and still, you want to purposefully misinterpret it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I'm going to continue reading here. Eminem role model. See, I want to see how far he can stretch his mind to bend Eminem into conservative music, because Eminem became explicitly political, like in the like post Eminem show days. Like after his third album, he became explicitly political, talking about like, George Bush and the war in Iraq and white America, stuff like that. He hates Donald Trump, different stuff, different stuff. I wonder what's going on here. So Marshall Bruce Mathers III, better known by his stage name Eminem, grew up in Detroit, probably the single city to have been ravaged the most thoroughly by Democratic Party malfeasance and malgovernance. It should not come as a surprise then that this song from his major label debut, the Slim Shady LP, released during the Clinton administration, contains a vicious attack on the Clintons. In a mere 4 verses, he highlights Bill's adultery and tenuous drug use claims while also dedicating some choice words to his wife. So if I said I never did drugs, that would mean I lie and get fucking more and get fucked more than the president does. So if I said I never did drugs, that would mean I lie and I get fucked more than the president does. Hillary Clinton tried to slap me and call me a pervert. I ripped her fucking tonsils out and fed her sherbet. Okay. Okay. And rappers make fun of political figures all the time because rap is the music of the oppressed and the people who are dispossessed, who are throwing rocks at the people who are in power. And that could be anybody. But just because Eminem is making jokes about Bill Clinton doesn't mean that he is now giving conservative messages. Are you serious? See, I'm maybe thinking his interpretation of conservative songs are the type of rap songs he can play with his super white friends that look like him at a party and not feel guilty about when Tupac is talking about the crime and poverty that exists in America's inner cities and black hoods. Maybe that's the type of rap music he's talking about, because you can listen to Keep Your Head Up, Role Model, and a Justin Bieber Christmas song and not feel any remorse or any sort of guilt or any sort of feeling of disappointment that people in your country, in America, have so little opportunities that they have to get on a microphone and rap about drugs, murder, and women, and in derogatory terms, just to make a name for themselves. That's what I'm thinking his definition of conservative is. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. But either way, Eminem made fun of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, but he also said a lot of jokes about George W. Bush. He also said a lot of jokes about Trump. said a lot of jokes about everybody. Eminem was just a jokester. So this, of course, not necessarily how a role model should sound, and Mr. Mathers acknowledges as such. Well aware of his own imperfections, he carefully explains that public figures are not per se examples to be followed, a message that should resonate with conservatives concerned about mainstream culture. I get a clean shave, bathe, go to a rave, die from an overdose, and dig myself out of my grave. My middle finger won't go down. How do I wave? And this is how I'm supposed to teach kids how to behave. Okay, and I don't see how this is conservative. In the song Role Models, by the way, from the Slim Shady LP, which is actually one of my favorite Eminem albums. His first three, fire, not including Infinite. Anyway, he's just cracking jokes. Eminem is not somebody that you take seriously when you're really trying to make this argument that conservative rap music does exist. There's Tom McDonald, and you got uh, other guys like that. Maybe Yellow Wolf is in that now. Maybe G Easy and other white rappers are doing conservative rap. But even in 2013, you didn't have to go this far to try to extrapolate conservative messages. Anyway, let's go here. 18, Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg, Still DRE, 1999. So, in Still DRE, from his first studio album after a 7-year hiatus, Andre Ramel Young, or Dr. Dre, speaks to the value of effort and experience. He starts out by painting a picture of the skepticism he faces as an older, more experienced musician. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. How, my nigga? My last album was The Chronic. They want to know if he still got it. They say rap's changed. They want to know how I feel about it. Okay, how is that conservative? Do you just have to get a song from an old rapper because most of the conservative Republicans in America are old ass white Americans who still reminisce on the days where their dick worked and they used to ride around in Firebirds all through the city listening to Bruce Springsteen and shit like that? Is that who you're trying to appeal to? I don't get it. I don't get it. What are they talking about here? I would effort and experience as if that's only a conservative value. Having effort and experience. I don't know, man. All right. But just because something is hip and new, it is not necessarily better. Still, the beats bang, still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change. Still, hope and change are not a substitute for skill and competence. I bring the fire till you're soaking in your seat. It's not a fluke. It's been tried. I'm the truth. But of course, even Dr. Dre's tried and tested approach to producing beats is of limited worth without hard work. From the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep, his mind is focused on his professional obligations. Treat my rap like my Cali weed. I smoke till I sleep. Wake up in the AM, compose a beat. But that does not mean that he is unwilling to dedicate some of his time to teaching, passing on the truth of the ages to new generations. Kept my ear to the streets, signed Eminem. He's triple platinum, doing 50 a week. Near the end of the song, all this culminates in a warning to wannabe revolutionaries everywhere. Ah, a warning. Yes, Dr. Dre was sending warnings to the radical communists in hip hop who want to take over the game. Who writes this? Who writes this? I know who wrote this. This mayonnaise man, this cave dweller. Oh my God. What are you listening to hip hop on, man? Are you listening to hip hop with your Bill O'Reilly headphones, man? Beats by Bill? Is that how you listening to hip hop, bro? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Stan? Stan, you are an idiot. Oh God. Anyway, Dr. Dre be the name, still running the game. And this extends, of course, to those who believe that a Marxist utopia, Jesus, who wrote this? That a Marxist utopia can be established through democratically endorsed redistribution of wealth. As Dr. Dre explains and Forgot About Dre, a song from his next album. If it was up to me, you motherfuckers would stop coming up to me with your hands out looking up to me like you want something free. This is literally insane. This is insane. This is insane. I can't understand how anybody could read this and take this seriously. All right. Just to not just call him crazy. Once again, the ideas of being old and experienced and weathering many storms is just insane. It's just wrong because that's not a conservative value. That's a personal value that some people might have. Uh, for last time I checked, what's his name? Bernie Sanders is old and experienced, still in Congress, wagging his finger, talking about the universal health care. That Bernie Sanders is old and experienced, but he's not a conservative. It has nothing to do with being a conservative if you're all just about working hard. Anyway, something as hip and new is not necessarily better. This is the thing about conservatives. They have this phobia in their mind that because they want to conserve the traditions that have maintained the status quo that has allowed them to accumulate so much wealth and power, that they don't want anything to change. And they view changes as a threat. And so this song he's trying to interpret as feeding into his paranoia that exists in his mind. Yeah, Dr. Dre is talking about new rappers in the game taking over his spot. Dr. Dre wants to conserve his position, just like I want to conserve the status quo of America's 1% owning 90% of the wealth. Yeah, Dr. Dre is just like me. No, no, nigga, no, he is not. Anyway, what's next? Hope and change are a substitute for skill and competence. Yeah, Dr. Dre has a lot of. By the way, Dr. Dre didn't even write this song. Still, Dre was written by Jay Z. Okay, so Jay Z wrote Snoop and Dre's parts. So this guy is ridiculous because he probably hates Jay Z because Jay Z is openly left wing and liberal, at least in the public eye. But yeah, guys don't even know hip hop, don't even know basic hip hop history, and talking stupid shit. Treat my rap like Cali weed. This is the thing. Ask a lot of Republicans back then about marijuana. Yeah, a lot of them were not cool with marijuana legalization. Even now, I can't even read this. This is so dumb. All right, Rap Das Armas by Sindinho de Edoca. So I listened to this song, but this is actually a Brazilian song, and it's the song that goes para pa pa para pa pa and stuff like that. It's basically like a club dance song, and not really like a true traditional hip hop song. And this is the thing, guys like Stan think that anything that has a fast beat and a brown person speaking at 100 miles a minute is a rap song. Stan, newsflash, not every brown man that picks up a microphone and speaks over a beat is rapping to you. Sometimes there are different genres of music that might have similarities with hip hop, but are not rap songs. Oh, Stan, you no neck having son of a bitch. You look like a thumb. You look like that fat at the end of a turkey leg. You nasty, nasty, dumb idiot, Stan. You suck. You suck. You suck at writing about hip hop. As a hip hop writer, I am offended. I am offended. As a professional who does this, I am offended, Stan, that you even wrote this article. I am taken aback and I am aghast. All right. A common theme in the genre of rap is a glorification of gun ownership and use. At the same time, very few songs present a principled defense of Second Amendment rights. Anger toward law enforcement, as in Body Count's highly controversial 1992 record Cop Killer, and a thirst for wanton machismo are more dominant streaks in American rap music. Tupac's Hit 'em Up exemplifies this. Five shots couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled. Now I'm about to set the record straight. With my AK, I'm still the thug that you love to hate. Motherfucker, I hit him up. Okay, I think this goes without saying, but you guys already know how I feel about the Second Amendment. And yes, a lot of hip hop glorifies gun ownership, but they don't glorify gun ownership in the way that white America glorifies gun ownership. And there's a very distinct difference. White America, by and large, live in communities where they don't have to fear for their lives when they walk outside. And a lot of them have paranoia about a government that has only ever served them. They're paranoid about a government coming in and taking their arms, taking away their liberty, taking away their freedom. They're fed all this Fox News propaganda BS. So then they worship the gun like the giant black phallus that they secretly admire and go out into the woods with their buddies and go shoot with militias and stuff like that. All that dumb shit. All that dumb shit that right wing, white bread America is all into. You get what I'm saying? Meanwhile, in hip hop at least, a lot of rappers glorify gun violence because unfortunately the consumers love that. They love hearing self-destruction from black men on records and in media. And most of the consumers are white people who generally find that okay and they think it's just entertainment, just like watching a Terminator movie or Independence Day or some action movie, something like that. So what I'm saying is this: the thing is, a lot of rappers are just trying to feed the beast of consumerism and also talking about the reality that in the hood, a lot of people have to keep that strap on them literally to protect themselves because our communities are flooded with drugs that the US government imported. The A lot of our communities are flooded with guns that the US government permits to just be proliferous in the streets. Therefore, rappers talk about guns in a different way. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a very, very big difference. I'm gonna jump into the comments. Oh well, Ralph M. White 3 deleted his comment, so I'm just gonna jump into the rest of this text. So it is remarkable. It is remarkably a song from Brazil that best expresses the sentiment that gun ownership finds its ultimate justification in self defense against totalitarian government. Rap das Armas, the theme song from the movie Elite Squad, describes a neighborhood ready to resist. For if the agent of government have all corrupted, I can't read Portuguese, so I won't. Yet enter your community heavily armed. What other option is there but to find Second Amendment solutions? And there is no way to truly enforce those rights but to match the government's military might. I can't read this in Portuguese. All right. M2 50 caliber machine guns may have been seen as weapons of war by Democratic senators from California, but tyranny is much more easily forced upon a populace without them. Absolutely not true, because in America, we have plenty of guns. Black Americans have been suffering under tyranny from the United States government since we came to the United States, since we were captured and brought to the United States. Guns everywhere. We've had access to guns for a long time, yet and still, what can we do? We have to use our words. We've only gotten far as a people using our words and putting our lives on the line and having millions of martyrs willing to be slaughtered so that we can gain freedom. Uh, Number one, the U.S. government is not going to turn super uh, tyrannical, and even if it does, when it does, like if Trump gets in office or something like that and goes full, God Emperor Trump status, it's not going to be white Americans raising up against the tyrannical government. Nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to do anything because most Americans don't care. They don't care. They literally don't care. Most Americans just want to put food on the table, live in peace, and not send their kids to school where it'll get shot up. That's like the basics of what Americans want. Yet and still, Republicans, conservatives live in this fantasy world, this fantasy where revolutions can happen and people can fight back against tyrannical governments as long as they have an AR-15. Stupid, stupid. If we look at the world, most of the revolutions that have happened, like what have happened in Egypt, have been done by an unarmed populace. Done by an unarmed populace. So I'm going to continue here. Nas, I Can. Ain't no way Nas made it to a conservative rap playlist. Stan. Nah, that's what I'm telling you. Not Nas. Nah, bro. You need to check yourself. Anyway, Nas, I Can, 2003. Nasir bin Olu Dara Jones, or Nas, released his song I Can in 2003. It charted at number 12 in the Billboard Hot 100, making it his highest charting single to date. I don't think that's true because I think If I Ruled the World went number one across the country. So I think that's actually his highest charting single. I don't know where he got his stats from. So the central message of the song is that education and hard work are the path to success. Not true. Not true. No, 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 no. Not government handouts or a life of crime. You're just reading into it, buddy. You're literally reading into it. Mr. Jones expresses an aspirational belief in opportunity for all. You can be anything in the world. In God we trust. But without effort, all of that opportunity will be squandered. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. I'll be where I want to be. He warns the young against the temptations posed by sex, drugs, and ignorance. Hung with the wrong person, got her strung on that heroin, cocaine, sniffing up drugs all in her nose. Could have died so young, now looks ugly and old. Whatever you decide, be careful. Some men be rapists, so act your age. Don't pretend to be older than you are. Give yourself time to grow. Young boys, you can use a lot of help, you know. You thinking life is all about smoking weed and ice. You don't want to be my age and can't read and write. Powerful lyrics from Nas, but once again, you have to understand the different intentions. Conservatives have this thing twisted in their mind where they think that they are the only people who think working hard in life is important. No, everybody in life, even crazy communists, leftists like myself, believe working hard is important if you want to succeed at anything in life. Even if we want to have a revolution where we overthrow the capitalists who keep us poor and dispossessed, that's going to take a lot of hard work, buddy. And trust me, we're going to work very hard at it when we finally eat the rich. But what I'm saying is this: the conservatives think that, a lot of people, black people is what they really mean, would be different in life, would have different outcomes in life if they just worked a bit harder. Never mind systemic racism, never mind the facts that people born into poverty are more likely to be in poverty. We can point out a few examples of a few black people who worked very, very hard and probably got very good and lucky breaks behind closed doors to say that, you know what? We can tell everybody that they can succeed and work hard and do it. Nas is not coming from that place. Nas is telling the kids, listen, we are going to have obstacles in life. He left out the part talking about how the white supremacists tried to steal our history and lie to us. He just focuses on the parts that agree with his message. You have to listen to Nas in his entirety, in his entire catalog. He's probably one of the most leftist, far thinking writers that we've ever had in black history. So we have to show a lot of love to Nas. And I have to tell Stan, I'm going to break your CD player when I see you, Stan. Stan, when I catch you, your iPod is going in the trash. Stan, when I see you, I'm gonna get a job at Spotify. I'm gonna rise up to like the level of president or CEO at Spotify just to discontinue your account. You're gonna be the first person blocked from Spotify. That ain't never happened, but I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna go to Sweden. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna work very, very hard. I'm gonna find your account, Stan, at Spotify, at SoundCloud, at YouTube Music. I'm gonna make sure you can never listen to music again. So you can never write some dumb shit like this again, Stan. This is absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. I'm going to continue here. All in all, a great message for the children that coming shortly after No Child Left Behind was enacted must have pleased President George W. Bush immensely. How does change come about? When individuals live up to the demands of their personal responsibility, not when United Nations bureaucrats issue letters expressing their disapproval, or in Mr. Jones's words, read more, learn more, change the globe. I have no idea what he's talking about here, but Nas was definitely not influenced by No Child Left Behind because black children have historically been left behind in America's educational system. Trash, absolute trash. Wyclef John, Perfect Gentleman. I listened to this song before. It's a like up tempo Wyclef stripper song. You get what I'm saying? I'd never heard it before reading this article, and it's okay. I'm not the biggest Wyclef fan, but he's a great songwriter. I'll say that. So, would-be Haitian presidential candidate Wyclef John, whose rise to fame commenced when he was a member of New Jersey rap outfit The Fugees, one of his fellow Fugees, Lauryn Hill, will make multiple appearances later on, discusses the importance of adhering to ethical standards in the face of adversity in this reflection on morally ambiguous occupations. In a song dedicated to strip clubs, I hate number one, this is not a rap song. It is not a rap song, bro. Number one, this is not conservative. He's just trying to find any examples of black people that agree with him, or that he can make or that he can try to tie in some agreements with them. This is not a rap song, guys. I'm telling y'all. If you listen to this song, the Justin Bieber song, these are not rap songs, bro. They just have one black person in the mix somehow, and he says, "Yeah, rap music," because that's how racist he is. Anyway, uh, where was I? Where was I? So, in a song dedicated to strip clubs, I'm gonna send this one out to the gentlemen's clubs. He says he draws the line of acceptability well before prostitution. Just because she dances go-go, that'll make her a hoe. No. Though unwilling to praise the choices strippers have made, he is not about to condemn them either. For all fall short of the glory of God. You calling her a hooker? He without sin cast the first stone. Okay. And see, I hate when people on the right try to claim religion as their own. Y'all don't own Christianity. Everything Jesus said does not agree with y'all. Y'all don't just claim Jesus just because most people on the left can tolerate people who are atheists or different religions. Like y'all are the only ones claiming Jesus as conservative, which he was not. Which he was not. Everything Jesus said, y'all totally stand against. So I don't get why y'all keep on saying anybody who remotely resembles the words of Christ is somehow a conservative. Oh, y'all are sick. Passing judgment is further complicated by the second verse, in which a stripper named Hope, a reference to President Clinton's activities in the Oval Office, gives her side of the story. Her focus rests heavily on the effort and skills required for her work, as well as her ambition to redeem herself. Have you any idea how hard this is? I could flex in 25 positions, but I only work here to pay my tuition. Now contrast this with the portrayal of strip club customers presented a bit later by Mr. John, talking about I don't be going to the strip joints. You're lying, man. You'd be surprised who you see up in there, man. Uh, it is hard not to read this juxtaposition of characters as a modern rendition of Luke 7:36-50. And indeed, unsurprisingly, it is ultimately the sinful woman, not the Pharisee, who passes by the strip joint only to pass judgment, who receives more love from Mr. Jean. We gonna elope to Mexico. Called up my mama, said I'm in love with the stripper, yo. All right, Wyclef was a horrible rapper. Wyclef was so bad of a rapper that you can even include him in any rap list, even when he's trying to rap. Falling in love with the stripper, showing women basic dignity, not degrading them, does not make it a conservative. How can I say this? Um, Characteristic. That's not a conservative characteristic. It's not. That's called basically being a good person, being a human. You get what I'm saying? Which most rappers are. Which most rappers are. Most rappers, at least on the song, just say, be this, ho that, drop a few bars about, having sex and partying and lifestyle and stuff like that. But in real life, a lot of these guys are married, have girlfriends, live normal, regular lives, and treat women with respect and dignity. Just because Wyclef made a song where he didn't denigrate women does not make it a conservative song. It's all trash. Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel. Oh, God. So we have Jay-Z popping up here. This is from the Dynasty album. This is a classic song. If you don't know this song, you ain't hip hop. This is just a classic song. Even though I'm not the biggest Beanie Siegel fan, love this song. Anyway, Sean Corey Carter or Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel pick up where Tupac left off in Keep Your Head Up, elaborating on the impact an absent father has on an adolescent's personal development. Where Have You Been is an eerie, heart wrenching account of Mr. Carter and Mr. Siegel's experiences growing up, learning that abandonment and abuse are moral equivalents. As Mr. Siegel puts it, we never pitched or kicked at a ball, dog. You never taught me shit. How to fight, ride a bike, fix a flat, none of that sort of shit. Nigga, you was an abusive pops. Fuck you. You left me out to dry, stuck. So, Mr. Carter describes growing up in a similar situation. You said that you was coming through. I would stay in the hallway waiting, always playing the bench, waiting. And the day came and went. Fuck you very much. You showed me the worst kind of pain. Without a father figure to guide them toward adulthood, Mr. Carter and Mr. Siegel create their own version of manliness, turning to crime and drugs. I remember that day you showed me that gat, that nine, put it in my palm when I was young, and said that would be mine. You turned me out, the reason why I hit the block, reason why I tried to hit them cops, reason why I started hitting shots, reasons why I started getting licked and drinking syrup and skipping court. It's a by the way, this rhymes when you listen to it because Beanie Siegel has like this Philly accent where shots and court somehow rhyme. Short court, I don't know. They have that weird Philly accent that makes that all work. You get what I'm saying? Go. So it is remarkable to see how outspoken both of the rappers performing here are in their defense of family values. Even though at the time of writing, they have worked their way up to prosperity. Mama driving sixes now. I got riches now. I bought a nice home for both of my sisters now. Bitterness remains. Their father's failure to provide them with a stable environment at home, a loving family to rely upon, has done irreparable damage. Do you even remember the tender boy you turned into a cold young man? Single mothers and the children they raise are the eventual victims of fatherhood denied, and no cunningly framed defense of that alternative family structure can change that. So it's actually very, very sick. It's very sick that he's writing that this Jay-Z song and Beanie Siegel song, where two grown black men are venting their frustrations about having single fathers, that you're using that to then perpetuate this stereotype about black men not being in their kids' lives. Even if you're not trying to perpetuate that stereotype, why are you then saying that this is a conservative song? Because it's a song where people are venting their frustration. They're not saying that the fatherlessness, caused them to, go into a certain type of lifestyle or break down or that sort of thing. The fatherlessness is just another part of living in a poor community, of living in a place that's very dangerous, where drugs and guns flood. You want to look at the personal problems that their mothers had with their fathers, but never at the systemic problems that would cause a man and a woman to separate. Because a lot of the reasons men and women stay together is a lot of the times economic. Daddy couldn't find a job. Daddy went to jail. Mama can't find a job. The income isn't enough. They never look at these systemic problems, which always come back to how we can actually make a better society to put fathers in the home and that sort of stuff. Yet and still, the blame is always on black men. I find this very sick, Stan, that you want to put this in here because it sounds like you want conservatives to listen to it and listen to the minds and expressions, the deepest, darkest, expressions from these black men talking about the pain that they went through growing up as young black boys without fathers, as if that's the majority of black men, which is absolutely not true. It's absolutely not true. First and foremost, the Republicans, conservatives loves to push this lie and this myth that black men have women out of wedlock, have babies out of wedlock, and don't stay with the women. That's actually kind of true because a lot of Americans don't get married, but people are still having kids. But black men are actually the most in their children's lives, more than any other group. We just might not be married to our baby mothers or whatever, but a lot of us are in our kids' lives. And for the record, my father was always in my life. His father was always in his life on both sides of my family. Both sides of my family. So we need to stop this. We need to stop purporting and continuing to push these narratives that black men only create single mothers. And either way, Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel just talking about their personal problems does not make this a conservative rap song. Unless you want to say that conservatism's foundation is laid upon the myth that black men abandon their children. And the abandonment of those children causes the negatives that we see in the hood, as if that was the only factor. Yes, the hood would be absolutely perfect if every black man and woman were married together in the ghetto, and also they had the same things that they had before: no jobs, no economic opportunity, no educational opportunity, drugs and guns flooding everywhere. Yes, the cure for all of that, according to the conservatives, is just every black person marry each other and live in the hood. That's their answer. That's seriously, that's the only logical conclusion you can get to. That's the only logical conclusion you can get to. Because you could have a father in your life and still end up dealing drugs. You could have a father and mother in your life and still end up addicted to drugs. You can have a father and mother in your life and still go hurt people. How do I know? Because we look at all the school shooters. Look at all the school shooters, mom and dad in their life, and they can't believe Billy ran up in there and laid down 30 people. Come on now. All right, I'm going to continue reading. So, Eminem featuring Dr. Dre, Guilty Conscious. This is a classic hip hop song, too. This is the song where they go back and forth about what to do. So, the second appearance for both Eminem and Dr. Dre reaches back to the medieval European tradition of the morality play. In a sequence of internal dialogues playing out the conscious of three protagonists facing an urgent dilemma, Mr. Mathers personifies evil while Dr. Dre performs the role of good, or at least non evil. Eddie has to decide whether to rob a liquor store and hurt its clerk. Stan is faced with the choice of taking advantage of an intoxicated 15-year-old, and Grady must choose the correct punishment for his adulterous wife and her lover. The latter is the only conundrum with a conclusive ending within the song. Even Mr. Young, the voice of moral reasoning, ends up embracing the appropriately medieval retribution Mr. Mathers suggests. What am I saying? Shoot him, Grady. Where's your gun at? Oh God, the way the conservatives worship the gun is absolutely sick. So more importantly, in the first two segments, consequentialist and deontological modes of moral reasoning are employed to illustrate that not only do actions have consequences, they ought to be firmly rooted in ethical principles. For example, man, don't do it. It's not worth it to risk it. You're right. Versus, yo, this girl's only 15 years old. You shouldn't take advantage of her. That's not fair. This is not a world of moral nihilism. And say what you want about the tenets underpinning Dr. Young's interventions. At least they suggest existence of an ethos. Okay. I don't know where to start with this one, but I'll just say this. Once again, having a conscience, not taking advantage of people, robbing people, murdering people is not a conservative trait. And this is where I think the conservatives are going absolutely crazy because I guess they think that all we want to do is rob and kill and take advantage of people. Other than that, this is actually a very good breakdown of this Eminem song. I'll actually probably plagiarize this for my next writing. I'm probably going to steal this paragraph and put it in my text that I write for Culturalist Theory when I do the Eminem songwriting list. I'll probably do that. But this is actually very good. I don't get how this could be a conservative song or even construed as one, but it's very good writing, at least on that part. Brenda's got a baby. Oh, God. All right, back to Tupac. So, most rap songs devoted to broken families place the experience of the fatherless son and the blame that rests upon the absent father at the center of their narrative. In his second appearance on this list, his debut solo single, Mr. Shakur shifts our attention to the female teen and the broader social fabric. I hear Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a brain. A damn shame the girl can hardly spell her name. That's not our problem. That's up to Brenda's family. Well, let me show you how it affects the whole community. I always hated that rhyme scheme right there. I wish Tupac shortened that. Well, let me show you how it affects the community. I don't know. It always sounds like after school play ish, but I've never liked Brenda's Got a Baby that much. I can understand it's a powerful song, but I really picked up on Tupac when it was Me Against the World. Me Against the World to me is his best album. So Brenda, the main character introduced here, is an illiterate 12-year-old born to a drug addicted father and a negligent mother who sees her as a convenient source of welfare payments, who didn't really care to see or give a damn if she went out and had a church of kids, as long as when the check came, they got first dibs. Growing up in an environment without communal institutions to fall back on, she is sexually abused by her cousin. That, I think that goes against the story because, of course, there were communal institutions. She did have community institutions. She had her family. She was living with her family. Doesn't that, it, that aren't the communal institutions the one that bothered her and raped her in the first place in the song? I mean, think about it. Like, if we, what do you think communal institutions are? Like, do you think they're always holy and perfect? Have you never heard of like the Roman Catholic Church? Like, those are communal institutions that took advantage of many a child, way worse. Anyway, I'm going to continue here. So, growing up in an environment without communal institutions to fall back on, she is sexually abused by her cousin, the only male figure in her life, who impregnates her. After giving birth to her baby in the bathroom, she considers abandoning the infant in a trash heap, but her motherly instincts keep her from doing so. Without a social network to fall back upon, she starts selling crack until prostitution becomes her only attainable source of income. Even though the social workers here every day, a community fallen apart after being hit with drugs, violence, and aid to families with dependent children, can in no way keep the inevitable tragedy from materializing. Prostitute found slain and Brenda's her name. She got a baby. All right, so this was a heartbreaking song, and even reading the story is hard to get by. But I'll say this. How about instead of Brenda having communal institutions or pulling herself up by her bootstraps, which is what you're implying, Stan? How about instead we fund the schools that to make sure a 12-year-old is not illiterate in the first place? But we use the billions of dollars that we give to other nations and also to spend on the military. How about we use that instead to make sure that public housing in America is the finest in the world? How about we actually do that, Stan, instead of throwing blame on a young girl who got abused? And by the way, Brenda's Got a Baby is a true story. Tupac wrote that about a true story that did happen to a young teen. Instead of blaming her or her parents or other black people, which is what you're implicitly doing, how about we put the blame on America itself to actually do better for its citizens? Oh, Stan, you are not the man. Stan, you do not have it. You don't have the X factor, man. You're not clicking right now. Nothing is clicking. Maybe your top 10 will. I've got to speed through this because I got 30 minutes left until my next class. So I'm gonna jump into this. So Bone Thugs and Harmony, The Crossroads, 1997. Shortly after his passing away, Cleveland rappers Lazy Bone, Flesh and Bones, Busy Bone, Crazy Bone, and Wishbone. These are indeed stage names, not the product of fate or paternal playfulness. Paid tribute to Eazy-E, the rapper and former NWA member who offered them their first major label contract. The Crossroads reflects upon his death and the many others in their spheres who have died early deaths and on the afterlife facing both them and the Bones themselves. The fundamental driving force underlying their reflections is the will of an omnipresent, almighty God. And what you're gonna do when there ain't nowhere to hide? Tell me what you're gonna do when judgment comes for you, because it's gonna come. Yeah. We know this song. Incomprehension in the face of death. And I'm asking the good Lord why. He sigh. He told me we live to die. Does not subtract from their faith in a higher authority or their willingness to obey his prescriptions. God bless you working on a plan to heaven. Follow the Lord all 24/7 days. God is who we praise. How then does one respond to adversity? Pray and we pray and we pray and we pray every day, every day. Oh my God, this is sad. There it is. There is no mercy for thugs. And eventually we arrive at the crossroads. Repent and change your ways before your time comes, and you will find eternal solace. See, this is the underlying message behind all these conservative nonsense, that what they really want to do is just go back to religious fundamentalism, pushing people into accepting religion as the only way to really interpret the world, because it comes from the divine rights. When you have religion as the center of your philosophy or worldview, where people are supposed to follow religion in a certain way, there's no room for argument or wiggle room with these people. This is the thing. We're in the middle of this article and it's all just laid bare. It's all just laid bare. This man is resting on a couple of guys named Bone Thugs and Harmony, who are just making a song about their dead Uncle Charles. Uncle Charles passed away. They're singing about their dead uncle, and yet and still, we're finding conservatism in this. Are you sad? Are you sick? So conservatives are the only people who can believe in God. Because last time I checked, Martin Luther King believed in God. Malcolm X believed in God. You get what I'm saying? So come on, man. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Kanye West, Jesus Walks. Now, this might be the only one on this list that actually makes sense. But even still, evoking religion to talk about conservatism and societal ills, we don't need more religion in society. What we need are actual social safety nets, universal health care, the ending of the prison industrial complex, getting rid of the guns in the streets, making America actually a safer place, not sending our money overseas to other countries to wage war. That's what we need in America, not religion, not communal communal institutions like the Catholic Church. Anyway, Kanye West, Jesus Walks, another song that openly embraces religion in a way that is anathema to most mainstream cultural products, is vivid proof of some of the suspicions many conservatives hold toward the sentinels of the movie and musical industry. Mr. West produced the first demos of this gospel inspired exaltation of the baby Jesus years before its eventual release date, but met heavy resistance in his search for interested record labels. In his own words, they say you can rap about anything except for Jesus. That means gun, sex, lies, videotapes. But if I talk about God, my record won't get played, huh? His criticisms of the liberal media establishment do not distract from the core message of the song, that Jesus Christ is his Lord and Savior and that he walks with everyone. His guidance is indispensable for the devil trying to break me down. And when he says everyone, he truly means he meets everyone, including the victims of welfare, brought to their knees by generations of at times well-intentioned liberal politicians who believe that throwing money at the problem is always the solution. This is the one that I actually think is conservative, because Kanye is a conservative and probably has always secretly been, just on some funny style. So I think there actually is some truth in this, but once again, basing religion as the way to determine something's conservatism is silly, because there are liberal conservatives, there are communist Christians, there are socialist Muslims. You get what I'm saying? You can't just claim Jesus as conservative. So let's go here. Lauryn Hill, Doo Wop, That Thing, 1998. Pro abstinence policies are a favorite target of liberal pundits. Oh, God. Oh, God. Former Fugees member Lauryn Hill, most recently in the news after being sentenced to a 3-month prison term for tax evasion, raising questions as to whether the IRS targeted her for her conservative leanings or whether she was jailed for her history of posting videos to YouTube. Views them differently. Plus, when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then you probably fucked again. Talking about out your neck, saying you're a Christian, a Muslim sleeping with the jinn. Now that was the sin that that did Jezebel in. All right, man. Lauryn Hill, amazing artist, but this song is not pro abstinence. It's just a message to girls to be careful, because this is a true message. This has nothing to do with conservatism or conservative values. It's not a conservative value to tell women to just be careful of dudes out there who might just want to have sex with them, or dudes who just want to, hit it and quit it and never see them again, or play them out their money, or leave them with babies that they'll raise by themselves. There are dudes out there like that, unfortunately. But warning women about that is not a conservative value. Because I'll do that. I will tell a woman that. I'll tell a guys that. I'll tell everybody that. And I'm not one of y'all. You get what I'm saying? Stan, you definitely never got no pussy, Stan. Stan, I can tell you never got pussy. Stan, you're the type of man who when I said you never got pussy, you said, well, I'd never liked Garfield. Boy, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you didn't get the jokes in the comic strips, Stan. That's not what I'm talking about. You obviously never got pussy. You never got laid. You never got laid. The only time you got laid is when you laid out on your bed to go to sleep. Stan. Are you dumb, Stan? You have not heard any real hip hop, Stan. All you're listing are the favorite songs of every white middle aged man of all time. You're listing the songs of people who say, I don't even listen to hip hop, but you know that Tupac, keep your head up. I like music like that. You're that sort of guy. Stan, you didn't even read the lyrics. You just copied and pasted stuff from Genius that you had to interpret. Stan. I'm going to continue reading. All right. So let's continue where I left off. So instead of surrender in the face of temptation, Miss Hill recommends modesty in dress. Showing off your ass because you're thinking it's a trend. Girlfriend, let me break it down for you again. It's silly when girls sell their soul because it's in. Look at where you be in hair weaves like Europeans, fake nails done by Koreans. Similar lessons apply for men. Instead of being more concerned with his rims and his Tims than his women, they need to cease being quick to shoot the semen, stop acting like boys and be men. Okay, but that's not a conservative value. See, Stan just wants to continue to spread this idea that black men are sexual deviants who all we want to do is create baby mamas and shoot cum everywhere and just make everybody single mothers. Stan, it's not true. And Stan, why'd you leave out the part where Lauryn Hill is throwing faint shots at white supremacy? Hair weaves like Europeans. Yeah, she's talking about the blatant white supremacy that your community floods us with, telling us that we need to be more respectable, more presentable. So we have to dress like y'all, dehumanize ourselves, put all sorts of chemicals in our hair to straighten it out, and speak in languages and terms that are foreign to us. Oh, Stan, you want to leave that part out. Ain't no way Regulate made it on this list. The most gangsta song of all time that's literally about nothing. Literally about nothing. Regulate is about nothing, bro. There's nothing substantive about the song Regulate. How could this be in the conservative rap song playlist? Oh, all right. Warren G featuring Nate Dogg, Regulate. So transforming the government into a middle class insurance company that regulates light bulb type and soda cup size inevitably distracts it from its core functions. Upholding the rule of law, enforcing property rights, and effectively exercising a monopoly on violence are among those core functions. Warren Griffin, Warren Griffin III, or Warren G, and Nathaniel Dwayne Hall, or Nate Dogg, describe what society looks like when those functions fall victim to rampant government expansion in this song from the soundtrack to the movie Above the Rim. No, it does not. No, it does not. What the hell are you talking about? It's not about that. It's not about that. Regulate. See, this is a white man who goes on urbandictionary.com. What's the meaning of Riz? Oh, I heard this new word today, swag. What is swag? No, it does not. Regulate means to hold it down with your gun. We got to regulate. We got to regulate this place. We got to straighten things out. Stan, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, Stan. That's not what regulate means. When Nate Dogg and Warren G got to regulate, they got to lay somebody out. They're going to put in some work. They're going to do some business. They're going to raise their weapons or raise their fists and fight people to get respect or get profits or whatever. Stan, what the hell are you talking about? Warren G, Nate Dogg, regulate a conservative song. Are you stupid? I'm getting jacked. I'm breaking myself. I can't believe they taking Warren's wealth. They got my gun to my head. I think I'm going down. I can't believe this happening in my own town. Mr. Griffin sees no obvious way out of this. Law enforcement is nowhere to be seen until Mr. Hall appears. If I had wings, I could fly. Let me contemplate. I glanced in the cut and I see my homie Nate. In the absence of a government capable of enforcing the rule of law, a spontaneous order emerges. 16 in the clip and one in the hole. Nate Dogg is about to make some bodies turn cold. Now they dropping in yelling. It's a tad bit late. Nate Dogg and Warren G had to regulate. Okay. God. Okay. And so, Stan, you're saying that Nate Dogg and Warren G want to live in a society where they have to kill other citizens because we can't fund the police, to actually respond fast enough to all the gun violence crimes that happen in the U.S. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Stan? Am I looking into your pale, soulless, green eyes, Stan, and seeing that you are really putting words in these black men's mouths, that they really want to live in a society where black men have to kill other black men because there are so many guns in society that they have to then say, you know what, this is a great way for our country to be organized. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is what Martin Luther King died for. Stan, go. Oh God, somebody got to regulate you, Stan. All right, the initial set of property rights has been protected, and the song ends on an optimistic note, as the Long Beach Crips have taken it upon themselves to assure that anarchy will not reign. 213 will regulate. So anyway, Lauren Hill featuring Carlos Santana to Zion. So this song is dedicated to her son. Now I heard this song. I like the Miseducation of Lauren Hill. It's not something I play often, but it is a dope album. So the second song from Miss Hill's album, The Miseducation of Lauren Hill, to be featured on this list is a strident anti-abortion anthem, a declaration of love to her son Zion, and an expression of gratitude for the divine gift of life. All right, on the abortion option, Miss Hill has the following to say: despite the father being a married man, I knew his life deserved a chance, but everybody told me to be smart. Look at your career, they said. Lauren, baby, use your head. But instead, I chose to use my heart. The biblical associations Miss Hill's son's name, Zion, evokes are exploited fully. When she speaks of the joy of my world or a gift so great, whether she refers to her son specifically or to God's love and generosity more generally is utterly unclear. But that is exactly the point. Okay, and all right, so Lauren Hill is talking about her experience, but I doubt Lauren Hill wants to take away the choice of other women to be able to decide whether they want to have kids. She didn't say that at all. She made the personal choice, which is what everybody should have the right to do. If you don't want to have an abortion, as a woman, by the way, as a man, why am I even talking about this? And Stan, as a man who has never seen the inside of a pussy at all, why are you talking about abortion, Stan? But either way, Stan, Lauren Hill is not saying that other women don't have the choice to have an abortion or not. She's talking about her personal experience. She wanted to have a baby, so she had a baby. But guys like you, Stan, would rather have women die giving birth to children that they do not want and creating more broken homes and unstable people in society. Lauren Hill is just making a song, Stan. You're reading too much into it. You're so quick because the conservatives are so uncool to try to latch on to everything that regular people are saying and doing. But it is not conservative, Stan. And nobody should read this article taking this man seriously. Why should you believe me? Because I'm black and I actually know hip hop. I write about hip hop. This guy is whack. He does not know hip hop and he'll never know anything about hip hop, no matter how many times he refreshes that Spotify playlist. All right, Jay Z, 99 Problems. So, constitutional conservatism is on the rise with Texas Senator Ted Cruz as its standard bearer. And Mr. Carter must be pleased. This song is an outspoken defense of Fourth Amendment rights and has been analyzed as such by law school professors. The second verse portrays a traffic stop. Mr. Carter has been caught speeding. You was doing 55 in a 54, and he is worried that the illegal drugs in the trunk of his car, in my trunk is raw, will be found by the police officer who stopped him. Though the legal details are not entirely accurate, Mr. Carter's forceful insistence on due process makes the arrival of a canine unit and the detection of illicit drugs a requirement for a search of his trunk to be admissible. The canine unit never arrives. Hence the triumphant chorus, I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. A victory for the guilty, but a victory for individual rights in the face of discretionary law enforcement as well. On a side note, when Mr. Carter performed this song at the inaugural staff ball celebrating President Obama's victory, he and 4,000 Obama campaign operatives changed the word bitch in the chorus to Bush as part of their never-ending struggle for a new civility in the public arena. See, this is the thing. How are you going to chastise rappers for speaking their mind? You know, if he wants to diss Bush, that's Jay-Z's right. You're talking about everything that the rapper's saying that you like, but as soon as they say something you dislike, you're saying, oh, the never-ending struggle for a new civility in the public arena. So yeah, I mean that was sarcastic and that was a low blow that didn't need to go there. But once again, advocating for your constitutional rights is American. It's not conservative. It's American. As Americans, you should be able to advocate for the police not to illegally search your car. You should be able to speak about being able to speak freely because that's our First Amendment right. And of course, everybody loves the Second Amendment right. But just talking about the Second Amendment right or talking about your love for guns or gun ownership is not a conservative trait. It's just an American trait. Though, in my opinion, that last part is unfortunate. Going to continue here. So, where were we? Yeah. Tupac, Dear Mama. In his third and last placing on this list, Mr. Shakur continues his exploration of family life on the brink of societal collapse, a retrospective on his mother's attempts to provide for him and to raise him. It touches upon many by now familiar themes. There are the intrinsic hardships a single mother, especially a poor single mother, faces. I finally understand. For a woman, it ain't easy trying to raise a man. You was always committed. You always was committed. A poor single mother on welfare. Tell me how you did it. And I could see you coming home from work late. You're in the kitchen trying to fix us a hot plate. You're just working with the scraps you was given. And mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. Of course, Mr. Shakur's own behavior, driven to an extent by the absence of a male father figure. They say I'm wrong and I'm heartless, but all along I was looking for a father. He was gone. Did not help. Welcomed into a gang, one of the few mediating institutions available in the absence of a functioning civil society. He starts dealing drugs. I hung around with the thugs, and even though they sold drugs, they showed a young brother love. I moved out and started really hanging. I needed money of my own, so I started slinging. We know by now how it all ends. Mr. Shakur becomes successful and gets the chance to give back to his struggling mother. It could all have been different, and his father deserves no receives, and his father deserves nor receives any credit for putting him in a position when he had the opportunity to produce some of the greatest rap songs of all time. Okay, so once again, the conservatives are pushing this lie once again that black men are thugs, criminals, and gangsters solely because fathers are not in the home. Yes, everything that Tupac ever rapped about, talking about how society is messed up from top to bottom and how it's almost made for the black male to fail in this society, all of that gets disregarded the moment Tupac talks about his dad. The moment Tupac just mentions, hypothetically, maybe I acted out because my dad wasn't in my life. Now it becomes, oh, see, that's the entire reason. Forget everything he said about welfare. Forget everything he said about how our society is militarized. Forget almost every single other word Tupac said. Just like how we do Martin Luther King, we as conservatives who are hell bent on controlling the culture and have cognitive dissonance and are unable to see past our own nose, let's do this. Let's just say and run with the myth that black men are savages and thugs and criminals because they don't have daddies. Let's just do that. It's so bad. It's so bad. That's not what Dear Mama is about. It's just a love song to his mom. See, this is how I know Stan is super white. How can you be a black band? How can any hip hop writer seriously write in a Will Smith song? Why is a Will Smith song on this list? It should not be. Will Smith featuring Coco, Men in Black. Pretty much all of the songs on this list have one clear, unambiguous conservative reading to offer. No, they do not. None of them did, actually, except maybe Jesus Walks. Men in Black, from the movie by the same name, on the other hand, illustrates both a more authoritarian and a libertarian approach to national security. The national security state, reviled by the likes of Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, embraced by Arizona Senator John McCain, is praised in this upbeat song about a shadowy law enforcement agency dressed in suggests explicit support for an executive branch so unitary no one outside of it is entitled even to memories of its actions. All right, here come the Men in Black Galaxy Defenders. Here come the Men in Black. They won't let you surrender. They won't let you remember something like that. Yeah. They not subject to any kind of democratic control. But yo, we ain't on no government list. We straight don't exist. No names and no fingerprints. Yet watch over everyone and everything. Presumably including AP and FNC reporters. Camera zoom on the impending doom, but then, like, boom, black suits fill the room up. Rumor has it that Rakim or Nas wrote this song. I wonder if that's true. Somebody got to look that up in the liner credits. Of course, this over the top portrayal of a benevolent government capable of providing complete security without any checks or balances invites a different reading as well. The listener is reminded of the skepticism he ought to feel. So go with your life, forget the Roswell crap, show love to the black suit, but told not to worry. But trust me, if we ever show in your section, believe me, it's for your own protection. That is obviously not an order free citizens ought to obey. Putting up a 13-hour filibuster is the least one can do to demand transparency and openness from the men in black. Ha 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 ha. What a bad, corny joke. What a bad and corny joke. A Will Smith song should not be on the list of conservative rap songs. This is just trash. This is absolutely trash. Because number one, Will Smith is not a great rapper. He's not a great rapper, and possibly he had ghostwriters. So if you have ghostwriters, you can't have any song on any sort of greatest rap list, period. And you know what? He's kind of making an interesting argument saying that the song is totalitarian because it's talking about a government agency that has unlimited powers that's able to spy and surveil on people. Okay, that's interesting. But is that what you're saying is a great conservative song? Is that what conservatives really want? You want religion to dominate over people, and you want an all empowering government agency able to run into a room, flash you with a neuralizer, and then whisk you away? Is that what you really want? I mean, that's sad if this is your greatest conservative song. Gasolina. This is just a parody. I feel like I'm now reading a joke. Maybe I'm getting punked. Maybe this whole article is like some Onion hit piece or something. Am I reading the article? Am I reading the Onion? I might have to delete this live stream because I might be reading a practical joke. So, Daddy Yankee, Gasolina. Ramon Luis Ayala Rodriguez, or Daddy Yankee, is the only artist on this list to have actively campaigned for a Republican presidential candidate, John McCain, in 2008. Now I know why we haven't seen his ass anymore. Named one of the 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine in 2006, Daddy Yankee's song focuses more specifically on one particular policy area than any other song on this list. In Mr. Rodriguez's own words, it is about energy independence. No, it is not. Dude, you just said that for a check. It's so dumb. But it is not flimsy, all of the above, with massive transfers of wealth to campaign donors who invest in Salindras that he is referring to with that term. Drill, baby, drill is his policy proposal, which of course dovetailed well with former Alaskan Governor Sarah Palin's use of that chant during the 2008 campaign. It is hard not to think of the female voice in the song as a Governor Palin avant la lettre. I forgot what that means. I don't know. When she sings "Dama mas gasolina," okay, drill, baby, drill. Okay, yeah, more gasolina. Give me more gasolina. I don't know. And when Mr. Rodriguez requests a tribute to the internal combustion engine, Zumbale mambo pa que mis gatas prenden los motores. She is the one who responds, Ella prende las turbinas. Given all this, listening to this song a decade later, it is hard not to hear a call for more fracking. Yes, Daddy Yankee was all about fracking. He wanted to frack your wife. Yeah, Daddy Yankee wanted to frack your wife, Stan. That's what the song is about. That this not even a rap song. It's what's the name of that stuff that Bad Bunny makes? I forgot the name of that genre. Oh, but that's not hip hop. It's not hip hop. It's that Puerto Rican music. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. What I'm saying is I just forgot the name of the genre, but Gasolina, Daddy Yankee, it's not rap music. It's not rap music as we would define it. So let's get into the top two. Jay Sean featuring Pitbull, I'm All Yours. Horrible song, and this is not even a rap song at all. Even too, like nothing with Pitbull, nothing with Daddy Yankee, none of that reggaeton. That's what it is, reggaeton. None of that reggaeton is actual true hip hop. And you can't be pulling out pop songs like this in a greatest conservative rap songs list. So you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to skip that because we're just going to go to Juicy. Number one, because this is so offensive. This is highly offensive. The Notorious B.I.G. Juicy 1994. Of course, you're thinking, I knew all along the sine qua non of conservative rap by Christopher George Latour Wallace, a classical rags to riches story. The Notorious B.I.G.'s solo debut single is an unapologetic tribute to the Republican Party's domestic policy agenda. After denouncing the soft bigotry of low expectations, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. Mr. Wallace reviews how he made the change from a common thief to up close and personal with Robin Leach. Growing up in the modest circumstances, personal and professional success was all a dream. But this American dream did eventually come to fruition. Home ownership in the land of plenty included condos in Queens, Indo for weeks. Despite an adolescence marked by financial struggles, we used to fuss when the landlord dissed us, no heat, wonder why Christmas missed us. Mr. Wallace has become one of those job creators subject to the top marginal income tax bracket. 50-inch screen, money green, leather sofa, got two rides, a limousine with the chauffeur. Phone bill about 2 G's flat. No need to worry, my accountant handles that. Life has treated him well, thanks to his skillful hard work. Now I'm in the limelight because I rhyme tight. Time to get paid. And this earned success is a cause for celebration, as it has brought an end to his participation in a culture of dependence on big government. Celebrating every day, no more public housing. But it doesn't end there. Mr. Wallace now helps the less fortunate with private charity. And I'm far from cheap. I smoke skunk with my peeps all day. Spread love. It's a Brooklyn way. And this dream is open to all who dare dream. You know very well who you are. Don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars. So, and that's the list. I hope it's been an enjoyable read. Of course, the precise ranking here was to a certain extent arbitrary, but that seems unavoidable in such situations. So, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm through with this. This was really bad. This was one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. I'm actually physically sick to see that people can actually twist and contort their minds to think like this. Hearing rap music and hearing Biggie's songs talking about growing up in public housing instead of actually Biggie having to live in public housing. How about the richest nation in the world create public housing that's actually affordable, sustainable, and safe for people? We have enough money to fund wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and to send people overseas and to flood Ukraine with high grade military weapons, but we can't even take care of American citizens. They expect that the savior for all American citizens will just be a lot of hard work, Jesus Christ, and luck. And that has not worked at all. It's absolutely sad that people like this have more influence than I ever will, but hopefully we can change that if y'all continue to support this channel. So I want to say thank you to everybody who watched this live stream live or will watch it on the playback on 2x. You should always watch my videos on 2x, and I'll be on another live stream when this channel hits 2,310 subscribers. So thank you for watching. Peace.